And good evening, everybody. And thank you for joining us on this call. I think it's going to be very exciting. I think you're going to be inspired. My name's George. For those of you, many of you know me. For those of you who don't know me, I'm George from Mallorca. Mallorca is an island in Spain. I'm actually originally from London. And I've been working with Chris with LifeWave since November 2022. Chris, I said to myself, Chris is going to do this with me. And he really had no choice, even though he had no idea he was going to do it with me. So I was able to get his attention. It was a bit of a military maneuver because he had no headspace, no ability to give attention. But slowly but surely, over 21 messages, I got his attention, and that those 21 messages. What if I tell you about them? You never know what gets an echo in somebody else. And it was only till the last message I sent him that the echo came back, and he went, "Wow!" Because I told him about Javi, who some of you know, whose son was autistic. I told him about my buddy Julian, who had tinnitus, and he said, "Wow, George doesn't know that Lucinda's got tinnitus. He doesn't know my nephew's autistic. I'm going to try." And that's why we're all here. And Alexandra, she's amazing. I met her in London. We were both on stage at a corporate event, and she was telling her story, which was super inspiring and really something to think about. She lives in a country, Romania, where the average salary is even less than South Africa. It's $500 a month. And when she told her story in London, and afterwards we had dinner together. We were all invited by the LifeWave corporate team, we who were on the stage and helping with the event. And so we were sitting next to each other. We spoke, we got to know each other, and we've stayed in touch since. And I said to Chris, instead of doing a training today, because you've got your big event coming up on Saturday, when we got 50 on the call now, perfect. Your big event coming up on Saturday, let's do something a little different. And I asked Alexandra if she'd be willing to come on this call and tell us her story, because I find it very, very inspiring. So with that said, I think Chris, he's got to go off and keep working on the event, but maybe you've got something to say, Chris. And I think I'm going to switch to have Alexandra and myself on the screen just for the moment. Alexandra, how do you prefer? Do you prefer to see everybody, or do you prefer that we just?
I think to see everybody.
Oh, okay. So we'll leave it like that. Okay. So, Chris, before we dive into this with Alexandra, I think you might have some things you would like to say besides tell everybody to get their tickets if they haven't got them. What else are you gonna?
Awesome. Thank you, George. And thank you so much for your persistence in sharing LifeWave with me. Like you said, it took 21 messages and you got my attention. And it was actually yesterday, the 22nd, was exactly 18 months ago that I registered with LifeWave. And what a journey. I feel like I'm home. I'm home. This is what I've been put on this planet to do. And I absolutely wake up with a spring in my step every single morning. And all I have is complete gratitude for the way LifeWave has turned our life around and is turning other people's lives around. And, you know, this beautiful product, the miracles, all I can say is the miracles that we see every day. And what's so amazing is, you know, we've got product that works, a 20-year-old company with patents. What more could you ask for in this beautiful network marketing industry? So here in South Africa, we're having our very first full day event on Saturday, and we got nearly 300 people booked. So I've been working around the clock, getting everything ready. Myself and Lucinda, we've been working, doing the midnight oil. So I'm getting the last few little things, well, I wouldn't say little, things for the presentation ready tonight. So, so before I hop off, I just want to say, Alexandra, thank you so much for taking the time out as a fellow senior presidential director from Romania in LifeWave. It's an absolute privilege and an honor to have you speaking to our team, speaking on the call. And it's all about the people's journey and the hardships that people go through in the beginning. Many people start with their backs against the wall. And it's so beautiful to hear stories of how people have just built themselves up and completely transformed their lives. So we're really looking forward. I'll be watching the recording tomorrow, but everybody on the call, sit back, relax, and get your pen, paper out, because tonight could be the night that is that last piece of the puzzle that you just were not putting, and you're going to put that last piece in, and all of a sudden you're going to see the entire picture. So, George, thank you. Alexandra, thank you. Enjoy. I'll
And
see you
then one
guys later.
question, Chris.
Yes.
For you, how many tickets you got left, guys? So you can. We got 50 tickets left, 53, something like that.
Something like that. Yes, roundabout.
Okay, so guys,
And
tell everybody that you know that who can make it, so that there's actually no tickets left at the end. That would be amazing.
And just to say something, sorry, Chris, going to a live event has completely changed my life. It was the moment that I took the decision to do the business, and it was the best decision I've made. So for everybody that didn't got the ticket yet, just go to the event, because it will change everything.
And Chris, there's a question here. It's only for brand partners. Can you qualify that? I believe that you people who are not quite brand partners but understand they want to be, but they need that last bit. Can they come to the event?
yes, very good question. Where people are sort of on the fence. Obviously, a person that would want to come knows something. They've either watched a recording of a presentation, or they've got a little bit of an idea. So if a guest would like to come, they're more than welcome, as long as they know beforehand. We're not going to be doing product training. We're talking just business training. But let me tell you, anybody that's sort of on the fence, that's not quite too sure, they come to an event. It might be putting the cart before the horse. But let me tell you something, by the time they finish the event, they will be saying, where's the laptop and where's the link? Because I need to register immediately. That's what will happen at the event. I've seen it before, completely the other way around. So yes, our guests are allowed to come, but as long as they know that there's no presentation up front, we're doing purely business training. Guys, we've got 18 people speaking for 10 minutes each, and a wealth of knowledge, people that have been in the industry for many, many decades, and they can be coming with a wealth of info. So guys, don't forget, bring your notepad or your book and your pen. Maybe bring 2 pens, because you never know when ink runs out, because you'll be taking a lot of notes. So looking forward to seeing you guys all on Saturday.
And please, because Chris and Lucinda are super busy, can you put in your groups that somebody who's on the fence, nearly there, they're welcome? Just make people aware of that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Enjoy.
Bit.
See you soon. Okay,
Talk
bye, guys.
later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, guys, so here we are. And where is she? You jumped somewhere else on the screen. So now I can see you again. So hello, everybody, and thank you for coming. And thank you, Alexandra. I'm connecting from Mallorca in Spain, and Alexandra is connecting from Romania. Are you in Bucharest?
Yes.
So long, long way from South Africa, the magic of Zoom and what we're doing. So, Alexandra, I would love you to tell your story. And no doubt I'll have some questions, and no doubt others will have questions. And maybe I'll dive in every so often as you're telling your story.
So good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, George, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to contribute. And I hope that I'm gonna inspire our global family to take action and just be here and use the patches and say yes to the business. This is also very important, because the patches and the business has completely changed my life. And when actually I saw your flyer today for the event, from cruise ship to LifeWave SPD, It's actually a miracle thinking 5 years ago, how my life was 5 years ago with my health and my financial situation. And I was very far away from home, working on the cruise ship. I loved what I was doing, but I wanted something else for myself. And that opportunity came with LifeWave. And it found me on the ship. Can you imagine, in the middle of nowhere? I was somewhere in Australia when I got to meet the patches for the first time, and I got the information, and I could not even order the patches. So I believe every brand partner out there and every client has this amazing story behind, and this is the true power, and they have a powerful why to, they just need to discover more and be there. So in short, I'm 36 years now, and I'm living my dream life in Bucharest, but my life was very different 5 years ago. And when I was working on the cruise ship, it was very hard for my body, and I didn't had any idea how I'm gonna manage my health when I go home. It was a very long contract, almost 9 months. And George, you said that I can share some pictures.
Yeah, of course.
So this is how I
Well,
started. Let me just see. Okay. So this is how I started using the patches. This is a 6 months of you after 6 months of using the patches. And I've also started with $25. I was a starter kit. I was very lucky with my sponsor, Nana, that she's my angel. George met her. She was just a client coming to my gym on the ship. I was the personal trainer there on the ship. And she was so nice to all the staff, and she just gave us some patches because we had a lot of, let's say, back pain. And she gave us this product brochure. I have it here with me today because this is how I started, and she left this product brochure in the gym. So actually the patches didn't, they weren't for me. Some of the girls in the gym that I was working with got the patches, and she showed me the patches, and she said, maybe you want to use them because I don't believe in them. And she gave me the product brochure. And I remember the first moment I put my hand on the product brochure and I opened and I read a little bit about the technology. I was just captivated and fascinated because I could tell that it's something special and unique. And of course, I tried the patches. These were like IceWave patches, and I could see that they were working. But I had a long way to go with my contract on the ship, and I didn't order the patches. But I kept reading the product brochure, and when I was away in my free time in ports, I was searching online to see if I can find something to read about this technology. And Nana, my sponsor, she came back to the gym, and of course she was very nice, following up and seeing, trying to see if we are okay, if we use the patches. And she was so nice that she enrolled me with a starter kit. And she told me, when you get back home and you want to get your health in order, and I've been using these patches for a long time, you just give me a call and I'm gonna help you from that point. And this is what I did. I finished my contract in 2017 in December, looking like this, and I had a lot of pain and a lot of hormonal imbalances in my body, and I went to a lot of doctors when I came back to Romania. And it took me like 2 months, and I ordered my first kit in it was a gold kit in February 2018. And I started with not knowing a lot about the patches. I just used them by intuition. I got a lot of patches. This was before X39. I got a lot of patches in the kit, and when I just put my hand in the kit and I took the first sleeve, it was SP6, and it was exactly what I needed to be on my path of getting better. And after that, I started to glutathione, and I started with Alavida, which I love and I've been using ever since. And I started to go to David's webinars. And Nana, she was so nice. She put me on a group that they had. And I just got so inspired by reading on the groups and hearing David's webinars. And I decided to be consistent with the patches. And this is how I started.
This was before X39.
Yeah, this is I think 1 year and something before X39. And after that, my sponsor, she was very, very inspired, and I appreciate her so much and my entire upline. She invited me to an event in Denmark because David was coming to Denmark to speak. And I didn't have like a lot of money because I spent all of my ship money on getting well and doing a lot of going to doctors and so on. And I didn't have a lot of money, but I decided to go anyway. And it has completely changed my life because I got connected with people that had these amazing results. I got connected to the vision. I could hear David speak, and I could see the quality of people that are in our community. So it was at that point I decided to come back to Romania and make it happen. I had no idea about network marketing. It was my first network marketing business. I had no experience. I didn't have a lot of resources. I was also from a very, very small town here in Romania. I didn't live in Bucharest. So not a lot of people to prospect, not a lot of buying power, not a lot of people understanding the product. We didn't have a lot of materials in our language, but I was very decided to make it happen.
So then you landed in Romania with that decision. And how did you start? What was the first thing you did to have 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 50 people around you?
So I decided to do a group to create a community because I was very inspired of the things I was seeing in the other group in Denmark. And for the first time in my life, I decided not to care so much about what other people are saying, that they're judging me, that they're gonna see that I'm like crazy and I'm starting to speak about these patches. And I did the group and I posted these pictures. I didn't have these pictures in my phone for the presentation. I went back on the group and I took them. And I started to share my story. And of course, I started to translate some materials, to take notes from David's webinars, to post on the group. Because we didn't have a lot of Romanian success stories, I used the success stories of my uplines, that they were very nice and very, very supportive. And I started to create a lot of value in this group. And I remember that at some point, one day, I decided to do my first live video in the group. I have never done a presentation before in my life. I was in my kitchen back home in the other city. And I remember I printed a banner and I had the banner in the kitchen and I was like covering everything with it. And I didn't know how to integrate Zoom with my group. And I didn't even know that I was online. And I decided to go there and make it happen. So basically, this is how I started. And I had a very, very crazy year, the first year in business. This is after I recovered, and I recovered very, very fast. And I didn't have any problems since. So my skin looks perfect now. And I've been using Alavida and X39 and X49. And I recovered very, very fast. And I was like, decided to do it. And you know how it was before the pandemic, it was like belly to belly, speaking with people, going around, giving samples. I went to fairs. I was printing flyers. I was not having a lot of experience, but I was like acting and taking action anyway.
So then the pandemic came. What happened?
Well, before the pandemic came, I managed to like gather a small team, and I had my first manager, and I became manager in 1 year or something like that. It was quite a long process for me, and it was a period that I have learned a lot about the company and the industry, that I invested a little bit in myself and go to some courses and got a mentor, which is very important as well. Even if I didn't had a lot of money from the commission I made, and this was my very big success, first big success, and very important, I think, for every brand partner, that with the commission I made, I was being able to pay the monthly subscription order, which was very important. By the way, when I had my first business presentation, I didn't understand the compensation plan. I didn't understand anything. It took me quite a while to figure it out. But only one thing I understood, that is very important to have the monthly subscription order. And I made it as my goal. And with the money I was making from my commission, I was investing in myself and in courses, and to be able to have patches, to offer samples, and of course for myself. And I managed to find some people, and I remember that I had my first managers in the team, and the pandemic came, and everyone was very confused, and all my team suddenly disappeared. And I also got stuck in London. I was not able to come home for like 3 months or so, and
Wow.
it was crazy for all of us. And
so then you had to rebuild.
exactly.
And how did you do that? And let me ask you another question. By that time, you discovered things you would do again or you would not do again. Because when you started again, you had to kind of change the way you were doing.
Yeah, because I got to know the power of the patches, and I really think the greatest significance you'll find in life is by serving and helping others. Even if I actually lost all my team and it was very hard with the pandemic, I was decided to keep going. And the only thing I regret and I would do differently, that it took me so long to convince myself that the patches are working. So we don't need this, because after that, I realized that everybody is different, and I could have helped a lot of people, but not staying in this testing mode and convincing myself that the patches are working, because David did that for us. For 20 years, he dedicated his life, and he has this cutting edge technology, and they are working, but only they are working differently for each of us. So only this thing I will change. It took me like 6 months to convince myself. And I was like seeing results on myself, and my mind was like playing tricks on me, and I was like still skeptical, but how does it work? And my mind was trying to control everything and know everything. And I think every brand partner now, because we know that we have results, we have this community all over the globe, I would start and I would recommend immediately, because with, I don't know, 1 month of X39, you can change someone's life. Even if you didn't reach your health goal because you're different or something else is happening in your body, that doesn't mean that other people are not gonna reach theirs.
Question: how did you find the strength in yourself, really, with nobody around you in your country, in your town, in your city, to say, look, I believe this and I'm going to do it, notwithstanding what you just said? I'm going to do it and I'm going to make it work. In a country, for the guys who came on late to the call, where the average salary is $500 a month, what was it in you that said, I'm going to make this work? Was it because you were hungry, or was it because you wanted to help people, or was it just because if you say I'm starting something, you don't let go? Tell
I
us a
think
little bit.
it was a combination in all three, but genuinely I started to help people because I had these symptoms and I was not well. Actually, I had a lot of symptoms since I was like 24, and I kept working and burning out and so on, and it all culminated with the hard work I did on this contract. And because I understood how it feels to be limited and not be able to enjoy your life and not being able to reach your full potential because you're very tired, you can't sleep, everything in your body hurts. And I could understand how it feels to go from doctor to doctor and not being able to have a solution that really transforms your health. So being healthy for me, it's like being free, being able to go out with your bike and spend time with your friends and not live in anxiety and fear because you don't know what is happening to you. So I genuinely started because I had no idea with the compensation plan, and I had no idea how much money or I will make in a week or a month or so on. I just started to inform people. It was very naturally for me to just go around and speak about the patches because I was so fascinated. I was like taking notes and I was speaking to others, even if in my circle of friends and family and in my small town, nobody was like having a very positive mindset about life. And they were not believing in the patches or searching for a possibility to improve their quality of life or change their financial situation. I was like fascinated, and I had this excitement from day one, and I still have it.
I love that. So uh, as you, it was a very pretty long time. You said 1 year before you were manager, and so that would mean it was a pretty long time before you were able to say, "There's money coming in into my weekly economy, which is not going just to buy new patches." So, what started to change, and what things unfolded in your life when you got to that point?
I think that my intuition is very strong, and this is how I advise everybody. If you feel it in your heart, I could feel that LifeWave is the opportunity for me from the first moment I put my hands on this product brochure that was not even in my language. And I felt the same way about the business. Even if I didn't understand how it works, I could tell that it's gonna transform my entire life because I met the community. So I met the people. Because going to events, I was able to speak with people that were like doing life work for 12 years, 14 years. And I asked myself, why are these people here if they don't have like health results or they don't have money results? It's a long time. And for me, it was a long time to get to manager, but for people that are now coming in my team, it takes 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know, 1 month, depending of how they do the work. So I was not very focused on the money in the beginning. Actually, I got so excited when I made my first space cycle because I could see that it's working. And I was like, I created $50 in my life being back home in this small town, and people around me don't know and don't believe because they don't have access to the information that I had. They are not on the groups. They didn't went to the event with me. By the way, I went alone to the events without a team for almost 2 years, to every single event, and online and offline. And now I'm going to Nice with a team of almost 30 people to an international event. And by the way, when I was like cruising and working, I did a lot of friends, and I was going to Nice with the cruise ship a lot of time. And most of the times I couldn't afford to go to eat in a fancy restaurant or to visit or to do something nice. And I was like in my head saying, one day I will return to these places and I'm gonna be financially free and I'm gonna enjoy them. And I'm like doing this today with a team of with a team of 30 people that are coming in this holiday with me to Nice.
Super. Listen, what do you think is the quality that you have that most helped you to be successful?
So I get this question a lot of time, and I get it from my team as well. It's a good question. I didn't had anything special in particular. I was just very consistent. So every day I was doing something for my business. And I had days I was sick. I had days I was tired. I had days and I was anxious. I had days I didn't know what to do. I had days when, you know how people are sometimes. And I decided to do something every day. So I set this goal when I started my group. It doesn't matter what happens, I'm gonna post every day in my group. And I had like months of only my mother, like I was calling her, please like my posts. And some friends that I dragged to the group, and I put some friends on the group and so on. And actually, after I have people that were in the group like from the beginning, and they call me after three years, and they said, Alexandra, I'm ready to buy, or I'm ready to join.
3 years.
Yeah.
That's key. Everybody, just think about that. People are watching. People are watching you.
Exactly.
We say that often. People were watching Alexandra. Some of them took 3 years to go, okay, I'm gonna take part in this as well. The screen just changed, so I've got you in.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I removed the ugly picture with me.
So let me go and take it back to gallery view so I can see everybody, because I was kind of talking to everybody and you. Couple of questions. What could you have done better?
So sometimes in the beginning, because I didn't had a lot of experience and it was happening all very fast, I went in this management mode with my team. And I stopped prospecting at some point to start doing events and so on. It was quite a lot of work, translate a lot of the materials. Looking back now, I think that every brand partner should never stop prospecting and give a little bit more space to their team, not do everything for their team. Like some leaders, they get stuck in this management mode, and it took me like a while to get out of there.
How did you get out of there? What did you do? Practical tips.
I had to work a little bit with myself and understand it doesn't need to be perfect. It's a limit that you put on yourself. So I was like willing to let people in my team grow, experience, make mistakes, do their own things, and see the process behind and learn. And it was a long way for me to delegate some stuff.
So that's a key word, delegate.
Exactly. Yeah.
I could add this. I had I had a business importing, exporting, manufacturing, selling from between Indonesia and Spain. And I was working like a crazy man. And a friend of mine, he was in Indonesia with a friend of his, successful businessman. And he said to me, "You'll never make real money until you learn to delegate." And I went, "Oh, okay." And I started to do that. I started to delegate. And with that particular business, after 2 years, I delegated everything. And went, "I'm not interested in this business anymore." But different with LifeWay. Let me ask you another question. So, how long was this whole process to get to SPD, Senior Presidential Director?
So after, like, I don't think it's the right way to say I lost all my team, because I didn't lose those people. I'm in contact with them, but I can understand that the pandemic was very confusing for all of us, and we got other priorities in our lives. I reached SPD and went through all the ranks in 1 year. And in the middle of the pandemic, in December 2021, I have reached SPD after people like telling me that the business is not going to work, that the company is from America, that it's complicated, that it's never going to be in Romanian, and so on and so on, that the patches are way too expensive. And I have heard a lot of objections business-wise, because we had these results with the patches. People are seeing that the patches are working, but we didn't demonstrate the business. We didn't have people changing their financial life with the business. And it took me 1 year from manager to senior presidential director. And something specific happened when I reached the SPD rank, because I was very new in the company, and I didn't know a lot about the promotion and how the promotion are like working. In the evening, this was on the 18th of December 2021. I'm not gonna forget it. I was very, very close, like a little bit of volume of reaching SPD. And when I closed the call with my team, I got the email from LifeWave that whomever reaches the rank of SPD, the incentive is gonna be $10,000. So exactly that day, it was a sign for me, that, like a sign from God, that you're in the right direction with your life. I was not expecting that. When I saw the email, I was like waiting until the morning. Of course, I texted my upline. I was waiting until the morning to call the customer service and ask if this is real. And I could not believe that I made so much money in a week. And of course, it was a very long process. I had like a very long time. I was like making $150, $200, $300. But my mindset was like, where you make $50 or $100, you can make 1,000, because it's the same thing. You can make 2,000, you can make 3,000. You just have to keep going and do those actions every day that give you those results. So for me, it was very simple. When I demonstrated myself, look, I made $100, and the company paid me. And it has been paying me for these 2 years. It doesn't matter. It's 300, 400. Every market is different. Every community is different. It was very easy for me to keep going from that point.
So two questions now. One is, so you have people on your team who've also become SPD now, and what stories would you tell about other people's lives changing on the financial side?
Oh, we have so amazing success stories with LifeWave now in Romania, not only with the products. I have girls in my team. I have like a big team, mostly women. they are quitting their jobs to do full-time LifeWave. And these are really well-paid jobs, like in finances or like lawyers. They're like quitting because they got to, by doing with commissions what they're like doing in their job. And they love the product so much. And I connected my team to the vision and the company, and I've been to all the events with them and so on. And now they are starting to change their lives.
So then for your life, I had another question, but it slipped my mind, but the one I was going to ask you before. So for your life, how is it now?
It's completely different from where I was 5 years ago. I'm completely financially free. I can do my schedule how I want. I don't wake up with the alarm clock in the morning. So this is a huge success. Actually, I have a neighbor and she's amazing. She's a doctor and I can hear her on the stairs when she wakes up at 7 and she's going to work. And also I wake up early in the morning, but I work from home, which is actually pretty amazing when I watch the window and I see all the cars and people being stuck in traffic.
So you said something, you said most of the people on your team are women.
Yes.
And so tell me, why don't the men pay attention?
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. If you have some men, please send them over to Romania.
Okay,
No,
listen, guys.
I also have men in my team, but the people that are qualified like senior directors, executive directors are women, and they have become independent. And I'm here in Bucharest without my family. My family is in London, and they have become my family. So I made like real friendships through LifeWave, not only in Romania. I have friends all over the world now, and I've been traveling. And like Chris said, I really found my mission in life.
Me too. So look, I don't know how long you can stay, but I'd love it if people could ask you
some questions.
So I'm happy to open microphones. I'm looking over here. Anybody? So Paula has her hand up, and who else is going to put their hand up? You can either do it like this, but I'm going to unmute Paula to start with. I have to figure out how, because Chris sets it up different to me. So just a minute. I'm got to go over here, Paula, and I can open you, ask you to unmute. And did you? Okay, you
got. Yeah. Hi everyone, and congratulations for your.
Hang on, Paula. We only have the top of your head, something like that.
Do you see me?
No, we just your forehead.
Oh, I see myself. I don't know why. Is that better?
Bring it down a little bit more, the screen. We got it almost got your face. Now that's better. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know why. Anyhow, I wanted to ask because, as you said, you realized pretty early on that it's very important to get people set up in automatic order. And what I'm finding it difficult actually, because like if you sign them up, say silver as a brand partner, or even as a preferred customer, even if you don't actually, the system gives you the option to waive that, to waive the automatic order, but you are still gonna get the wholesale price. So what's the argument that you use to bring people set up the automatic order? Because I have like people in my downline and they forget, and it's like then becomes a bit pushy to remind them like you have to place the order.
To this question, I have built an entire team, and I've never told people to set their automatically monthly subscription order. I educate them about this in webinars, and I post from time to time on my groups. But this is something that it's the responsibility of every brand partner that wants to build the business. So I make sure that they know it's very important. I make sure that they understand that if they have the monthly subscription order and maybe they are not yet, let's say, decided to do the business, it's a good thing because they're going to end up having this volume of the business. And when they start, it's going to be a little bit more easier. So I let them choose, and I let them be a thing that they do on their own. So it's very, very rarely that I remember in the beginning, I was like calling people to say about to put your
order.
Or put your order. But I was making sure that I'm saying in every webinar that in the beginning, because it took me, I was a starter, I upgraded to gold. I didn't have an automatic because I didn't know what it is. Then I traveled to Denmark and I got inspired to this event. I upgraded to diamond, and from that point, because of my upline telling me that it's very important, I know that you don't understand now why it's so important, I kept the monthly subscription order. And every time I have a webinar, I use my personal example to inspire people to get their monthly subscription order.
Okay.
So you also, I think you said to me when we were speaking, you used your last money to do the upgrade.
Yeah. So I used my last money to do the upgrade on the diamond kit after, I think I did it during the event when I was still in Copenhagen.
Wow. So thank
you.
you. And I want to ask, I don't know, Sandy, can you open your mic? Let me get you. Sandy, I want you to meet Sandy, and hopefully you will be meeting Sandy in Marrakesh. Sandy also, and I've got to find you here so I can do the unmute thing. Sandy also started with a starter pack. She didn't have the money even to get bronze. Sandy, okay, we got you.
Yeah.
Hi,
Alexandra. Thanks so much. It's such an inspiration, and your skin is exquisite.
Thank you so
and
much.
goodness gracious that you did all of this in 1 year. Huge congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm so in awe of you. Yeah. So
how can I help?
So George, what do you want me? Do you want me to talk about?
Well, what I love about both of you is you both started kind of with the back against the wall, and neither of you had money to get even the bronze kit, but you started and you put it in your head and you ran with it, and that's what I find wonderful and fascinating. And from what Alexandra's been saying, what would you highlight to everybody else, filtering it through your own experience?
So yes, I also started on $25. I didn't do what Alexandra did. I messed around for 2 months trying to get something else going. But then I put my mind to it. And when I look back, I made many mistakes. But actually, are they mistakes? They're really learning curves that we can teach our people how to do things better. And Alexandra, I haven't moved as fast as you have. I've still got to get to SPD, but I'll get there. I know. Got a marvelous team. And I've also lost people, and that's okay. And I've had people join me after a year. I was astounded when you mentioned 3 years. I think that's so encouraging.
And 4. I had people after 4 years joining.
Wow.
And doctors, I prospected in the beginning. After 4 years, they were like following me online, and they said, I'm ready to buy now.
That is so helpful for so many people, because people join when they're ready, not so.
Exactly, yes.
And they do look and watch. And I think your country takes more strain than our country when I look at the salaries we're talking about. So all I can say is what a massive inspiration. And it shows that everyone can do it. If we have our why and we have the desire, the willingness, and put in the action, and I fully agree. It's daily consistency of helping the team.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandy. So some of you, Graham is saying, is your hand up, Graham? I think Graham's hand is up. So let me go to Graham. And while I'm finding Graham, I would just say this. In the event in Orlando, there's a gentleman. Okay, so you can open your mic. There was a gentleman there who's a coach who he's probably in his mid-70s. And he said, you know, I needed to cut this tree down, LifeWave, let's say. And he says, I've got a very sharp axe, but look at me, I can't use the axe all day long. He said, but I can use it every day, which is something that Alexandra said, every day. And he says, I go to the tree and I hit it 5 times every day. But the people said to him, you mean every day? You mean every day? Yes, every day, not all day, every day, which is something that Alexandra was saying about how she went for it with her business, doing it every day. But then he said, what I didn't do was go to 10 different trees. I didn't go to one tree here and another tree here and another tree here. I stuck with the same tree. So another way that I say that, and I have a friend who hunts rabbits here. And I said to him, how many rabbits can you hunt at the same time? You can only hunt 1 rabbit at the same time. So anyway, Graham, please.
Thanks, Alexandra. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. When you approach customers, do you open from a financial aspect or from a health aspect?
It depends on the people. So when I prospect and I know that they have some health issues, I start with the product. And actually, I have a lot of brand partners in my team that had this amazing journey from clients to brand partners and to a career. But if I go to an environment that I know that a lot of people that are doing business or entrepreneurs are there, I go with the business. So it depends of the circumstances. But in the beginning, like for 2 or 3 years, but this was something different because we had to open Romania. Me and my team have lead our business with the product.
Right, with the product. And how do you get people's attention? Because so often I approach people and they tell me they're really not interested. And I say to myself, but you don't know what you're not interested in.
That was it is a very good answer, and I know how difficult it can be. I was very frustrated in the beginning for people not paying attention because I had this amazing product, this amazing company. I was going to these events and I was like learning a lot. But at some point, I learned about the power of personal example. And I detached myself and I just wear the patches. I made sure that my life is beautiful every single day, that I'm enjoying my journey that I have having with LifeWave. And people saw that. People felt that. And instead of me going to them, they are now coming to me and saying, well, you are 36 now. How is your skin looking so amazing? Or you're traveling the world, or you're like at lunch with John Maxwell in Orlando. How did you make that happen?
Wow, so, you had lunch with him? That's amazing. I wish.
Yes, we all had it. And this is something that has really impacted my family and close friends as well. Don't think that they jumped on the patches or they wanted to do the business or they understood what I'm doing. But because of me changing my life with the patches and the business, they have started to be interested. And they were like reading online and being on my groups. And I have my mom and my stepmom as well. And at some point, I was doing an event in the city of my stepmom. My mom lives in London. My stepmom, she's in Romania. And she has been following me since the beginning. Of course, I gave her some patches because she had some shoulder problems and she knew that the patches were like working and could help her. And I was doing this event and I announced the events online, and I had the surprise to have her at the event saying, I'm ready to start, just teach me what I need to know because I'm starting the business. And she's now a manager and she works a full-time job. She's taking care of my sister. I have a small baby sister. And she has a full-time job that she's doing sometimes from home. And she was able to make $800 in a week as a manager. And she was like in shock. But she was also very teachable. She didn't reinvent the wheel. She didn't want to do it differently. She just asked me, tell me what I need to do. And I was like in contact with her, and you do this in the beginning, and after that you have the product guide and you follow up, and this is the link for the presentation. And this is something that you tell people when they have detox effects. And I was like with her, with some clients, and she managed to become manager by her own will and her own power. So I explained, this is the monthly subscription order. You're gonna start to make money. Don't spend it all because you have to invest back in your business and in your team. So this is a principle that I have in business. If I make $50, $10, $15, I put aside to invest back in my business and in my team. So I don't spend it all.
Thanks very much for that.
You're welcome.
That's interesting.
So they're gonna see you changing and having fun and having a great time and being in this new community. And for sure, they're gonna be more interested and open to join.
So Alexandra said something really key there as well. Many things really key there, but she was open to learning. And one of the things some of you have heard me say and others not, but for this to work, you need to have, on one hand, persistence and consistency. Hey, look at the balloons, but I don't know why it does that. On the other hand, you need to have patience and passion. You can hear we've got passion. Patience, let me try this again, see if we get more balloons. No more balloons. But in between both of those, you need to have the desire and willingness to learn. Doesn't matter what level you are. I'm sure that if I say Alexandra, she's learning all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've also made a lot of mistakes, by the way, Sandy, lots of them. And I've learned a lot.
So, but the other thing people need to have is, besides everything I just said, they need to have made the decision somewhere around here, I'm actually going to do this, which is what was very clear that Alexandra did right from the beginning. Without knowing how the compensation plan worked, without having anything in her language, practically nothing in Romanian, she said, I'm going to do this. And that's the key here. So look, we're on an hour. Is it okay if somebody else raises their hand for a last question? It looks like Yep. Let me get you. I got you get. Here we go. Don't Don T rather than don't. Hey Don T. Okay. Here we go. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, George. Alexandra, thank you for this wonderful presentation and sharing so much of the nuggets that we are going to take forward in our growth. There's just two questions I want to hear. I want to hear how you respond to. I hear that in your team, you've got professionals like doctors. How do you prospect to health practitioners, especially doctors, to come on board? And two, how do you prospect to younger people? Because I find them not keen to join into something that is going to give them preventative health benefits for years to come, and instead of relying on reactive treatment of conditions. How do you do it?
So I have like a very diverse team. I have doctors, I also have athletes, I have young people as well. And it was challenging at some points. I had to discover how to work with all of them. Basically, I think that the ideal client for the patches and the business, it's the people that really want to change their lives, that they have the health issues. They don't need to be doctors or practitioners. They have a health issue and they have a very strong motivation to get rid of the symptoms and improve their lives. So in the beginning, I was also prospecting. I don't exclude anyone, of course. I also prospecting doctors. But what I discovered is that we have very good, well-intended doctors and health practitioners, but sometimes they don't have a lot of time to build a business as well. They love the patches, they are following us, they are coming to events. This is something maybe only in Romania. I don't know about other markets, but this was my experience. They are helping out, they are involved, they comment on our posts, they help us if we want them to be guest speakers at our events. But because being a doctor takes a lot of your time, they don't have time to really build on the business. Most of them, not all of them. So when I prospect doctors, I make sure that I have some little pieces of clinical studies, and I give them a view of the science behind the patches, because they are maybe more technical and they want to know this kind of stuff. And I give them, is the same as all people. I give them the product brochure that we have in Romanian, and I give them the results. So I have like a folder on my laptop, on my phone, with before and after pictures that we have with our clients, and these are the results. This is the science, and this is what you can achieve.
And young people.
So I started a team of young people. They are 20 something. I have one that she's gonna become a manager really soon. It depends of how you put it in perspective for them. So I think LifeWave and the way the patches are designed are perfect for the young generation. They don't have patience. They want everything really, really fast. And I really think that this is the product of their generation. And when I prospect them, I make sure that they understand how easy it is. And because they want to have a lot of freedom and they want to be independent, and they have access to all kind of information that we didn't have when we were 20, I make sure that they understand that if they do the business, they can master their free time. They can work from whatever place they want. and I take it from that.
So thank you for that. I'm going to, if I may, add a little bit about the doctors. Two things. One, it's great if there is a doctor on your group, and it may happen and it may not happen, but you don't need doctors for this to be successful. I said that in Lisbon from the stage, and the one who started the clapping was the doctor who just spoke for half an hour about the technology. So that said, we do have a group, and Don, if you're, because you seem to have disappeared, I'm not sure if you're still on. Yes, you are. So we do have a group of 241 today, medical professionals, between doctors, veterinarians, dentists, acupuncturists, and so on. So if you have doctors who are doubtful and want to, they're doubting or skeptical and they want to talk to some other doctors, that's the only group I let people who are not brand partners or not using the products come onto. So that would be available if you have somebody who's like serious saying, I'd like to know more and I need to talk to some other doctors. That group came about because I was in Dallas talking to medical doctors and they were asking me questions. I said, I can't even understand these questions. So I'm going to connect you with some of the doctors in my group. And that's available. So just reach out if you need that. And the same applies to anybody else. And by the way, we also have our animals group where people with animals are very happy with that. So anyways, I think I'm going to ask Alexandra, where have you gone? You've gone over there. Is there any last words you'd like to say to everybody before we break the call? I want to say thank you so much for joining us, and count on me to come and talk to your people and hopefully inspire them too.
Just to be confident, every single one of us has the resources. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just make the few steps. And what can I promise you, and what happened to me, is that when you act in this direction of your desire and the things that you want, the whole universe arranges itself and makes things happen and puts people in your life. I was like a lot of times like very, very, very limited with my money for gas or for paying hotels or for paying venues or for buying more patches to have samples. And things happened and people showed up and people needing patches showed up and so on. And things are gonna happen. I think a company like LifeWave, it's unique. So make sure that you're in this train now, that it's going like really, really in every country with a lot of momentum.
Thank you, Alexandra. Very true what you're saying. Very, very true. I love it. And thank you so much. And I'm going to ask everybody to unmute to say thank you. Oops.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Alexandra.
Thank you, Alexandra.
See you in
Thank you,
Marrakesh.
Alexandra.
See you in Marrakesh is what
Alexandra.
she said.
Thank you
See
so
you in
much.
Marrakesh.
Thank you, Alexandra.
Ciao.
Thank you, thank you.
George is fucking
Bye,
feeling himself laughing here.
Thank you from Arizona.
Hey, Arizona, I love it.
Thank you from Mexico.
We can't even drop off,
Mexico.
We can't even drop off.
Thank you, Alexander from Sitamo.
Oh, so nice.
From Durban.
You're welcome. Hope to see everybody soon. And don't forget,
Yes,
you can make it
yes.
happen.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Marrakesh.
Alexander.
Marrakesh.
Thanks,
Bye.
Alexander from Adelaide. You are our inspiration. We are following you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so
Thank
much. And
you.
hope to see everybody in Marrakesh.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to come to Marrakesh.
Hello?
Hello.
Can talk.
Well, I'm still here. So that was a great call.
Thank you.
Magic,
See what else I can put together in the weeks to come.
Yeah, more like this, George. We learn a lot from each other.
That's the point, you know. Javi, for example, some of you know Javi, he says, you know, I've got experience over you, but you've got experience over me, so we all learn from each other, and that's what's wonderful. And you know, I love how Alexandra frames her things and how her responses, and there's a lot of wisdom there, and definitely learned some stuff from her too.
But she's also been in it for a while, so it shows you mustn't give up. You've got to persevere, see it through.
Yeah, so she's 2017 is when she came in, and not knowing anything, not understanding anything, not having anything in her language, and going to the event in Denmark when we spoke, she said it was that was pretty much almost her last money. The last money went into her gold, into her diamond upgrade, but we're believing with it, and then getting it going, and getting to be manager after 1 year, and then COVID coming in, and all falling apart, and having to kind of start again, but still keeping it like that. It's wonderful. I love it. So if any of you don't know, on my right is Claudia Reynoso from Mexico. I visited her in Guadalajara. I always believe in de-virtualizing, getting to know people who one has been working with for a while, or we did calls for how long before? Probably almost a year before I was in Mexico and said, I'm going to go to Guadalajara and meet. Had a lovely time with her and her mom. Probably ate too much good food. I can get you to unmute. Actually, everybody is unmuted. So, Claudia, why don't you tell everybody how you're seeing LifeWave from your perspective there in Mexico? You can unmute. Okay, let me send you the ask all to unmute again, and then now you can unmute. There you go.
Thank you. Well, I've been in LifeWave for more than a year, almost a year and a half. And it's been such a journey for me. I'm still manager. I'm on my way to director. And I heard Alexandra, and of course, I feel I can do it. Now, it's for me very important. Mexico is growing, and we in George's organization, we are growing a lot. And I'm feeling more confident because I can understand now that this venture is about, you know, growing, about meeting people, about sharing with people, and sharing this good stuff we have in our hands. So Mexico is growing. We went to the corporate offices. It's brand new. It was just started on September last year. And, you know, today I was having this social network training I'm having, and looking at the terms and all the things we're doing there, I can see that there's a lot of opportunity here in Guadalajara, in Mexico, and we will never finish. We will never, you know, there's a lot of people to reach. And after I'm joining you people there in all of these countries where you are and listening to you, I get connected to you, and I feel like this is possible for all of us. And we are laughing here together. We are sharing hearts, and we are inspired by all of us together. And I think we will do it, and we will enjoy it, and we'll meet at Marrakesh or at Mexico or whatever we can meet. And it will be a journey for all of us, a beautiful journey, and we'll have to face our own, you know, limiting beliefs or the expansive beliefs that we are learning, and all over the world we're sharing, and it's so beautiful, so like so expansive. And
Claudia, she was on a lot of calls with me, and I said to her one day, Claudia, now it's time for you to do Zooms. And she went, yeah, okay. And then next week I said, so you're going to do a Zoom this week? She said, no, next week. But then I kind of held her to it. And now she's doing Zooms all the time. So for you, Claudia, it was a little bit of you know, a mental barrier to go through to do. Talk about that, please.
well, I was like, I think I wasn't trusting myself. Now that I've been through this journey, no, I can only see that I have these ideas of what can be done or what cannot be done. But I just did it, and I survived. And I asked the next question I didn't dare to ask, and I survived. And I tried a different way, and I survived. So it's just a way to do things, trying new things, and you will survive. We all will going to survive. And I believe that yours, that you have reached the, you know, the SPD rank, you could tell me, but I will survive until I get there. And beside, and you know, and more than that, I will enjoy it when I just do the next step. So
lovely,
I
wonderful.
inspire right now. I feel very, very happy.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
here. Thank
Me
you,
too.
George.
I'm happy you're here.
It's
you know,
so
I would
inspiring.
never... Say again, Bayanda.
I'm saying it is, the call today with Alexandra was just so phenomenal. I mean, George, what you have done for us in South Africa is just short of miraculous. I tell my husband right now, I'm in bed, I'm at a hotel away from my family. My biggest why is to do this for my children. I've got 3 young children that I spend a lot of time away from because I travel the country I'm in retail operations, you know, and I have to go to different cities every other day. And I just want to do LifeWave. I keep telling my husband, all I want to do is I want to do LifeWave all my life. Why is it taking so long? You know, but I'm going to learn to be patient. We are going to get there. I love what you said. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to see the step in front of you. That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So thank you, George. Thank you so much. I mean, when I see you, I think my heart catches on fire. You have become such a totally different, vibrant person. I've watched you over the past year. No cough, the glow in your skin. My goodness, I can't wait to meet you in person.
I'm looking forward, super looking forward to that. This is going to be so much fun.
Yes.
So, listen, guys, somebody else, this is my daughter Zelda.
Hi, everyone.
Zelda.
Hi, hello. Today I went to pick up someone from a random school and some mum had the patches on her, but she's not doing the business.
You know, the patches will be everywhere in 5 years. We were on Aruba on a deserted beach in the north of the island, and Zelda came with a patch. She found a patch stuck on a bush. We were in a house somewhere 45 minutes up a track in Mexico, and she says to me, look, there's a man with a patch on his neck. I was on a people mover in some airport in America, and I look on the floor, there's a patch stuck to the floor. Anyways, does anybody else like to say something else before we go? Robin.
Yeah, we had a German client arrive, and she was very quiet about it, but I saw on the back of her neck a patch, and I said to her, "You on the X39?" And she sort of went, "Yeah, do you know about it?" And of course, in Botswana, it's a really difficult because we don't have a distribution center. We have to rely on South Africa. So we can't do the monthly subscription because we have to buy in bulk. And it's trying to find couriers and you know, almost like a donkey cart coming across the border to bring the patches up. So yeah, it's a challenge, but I had a really interesting meeting today to try and I think I found a solution for Botswana. I think we're going to I've got somebody that I think I can line up to become a distribution center.
Super. I will say this, I'm going to be in Prague and I'm going to be talking with the number 2 and the president. And, you know, I was on a call with him and they're not going to be opening any more countries, but they're going to make it seems like they might be making it a little bit easier for people in other countries that are not on the list on the 87 countries. So
well, we're part of South Africa. I mean, we really kind of, a lot of our imports and things come up from South Africa. So everybody tends to think of the SADC region as South Africa, but it's tough in, you know, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe. I mean, they're trying to, you know, the Zimbabwe signups that I've done are really trying, but it's challenging. It's really challenging to get the product in there. And you've always got to rely on somebody flying back that can stick it in the hand luggage, get it delivered to somewhere in Joburg or somewhere else in South Africa. So I have said to Chris, I said, you got it, Chris, you got to remember that South Africa's SADC. It's not just South Africa.
No. It's true. And I will be having that conversation and pushing it because the same applies to a lot of countries in South America. So Mexico, for example, is the gateway to the rest of to Central and South America, but also the company's going through a massive growth since like 2020 till now. So they're kind of consolidating everything. But I'm hoping I can bring some good news, partly because of a couple of conversations, one of which I was part of, one I was told about, but let's see.
Yeah, well, we're keeping fingers crossed. I mean, we're managing, we're getting through, we're finding people that come back and forth regularly who are happy to, you know, courier, well, the hand courier, because the courier costs through any other courier company adds another at least 2,000 Rand onto the transport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Little by little, step by step.
Yeah.
Is that your night sky behind you, or is that a screenshot? Are you like
that's a screenshot of the Okavango Delta, where I live on the edge. I'm very, very lucky to live on the edge of the Okavango Delta. And in fact, I can hear outside elephants trying to find water. We're going through severe drought at the moment. So they're all finding these wells that have been dug in the riverbanks, and they come so quietly. It's just magical.
Wow. Wow. We got a cat here.
Got 2 dogs too, and I got 50 horses. So that's why I'm very intrigued with the animal group, because the animal group is definitely busier than the human group.
That's true, but people love their animals, and that's here's a cat on the screen. So listen, guys, thank you so much for coming, and let's take this as far as we can. I share David's vision. Huh?
If anybody's ever coming to Botswana, it'd be lovely to know if they're coming, even if, you know, a lot of people come on holiday here, but if they do come, it'd be great to kind of connect and get the little group that we've got going here together with people that have, you know, I'm my proudest moment is signing up Sandy Ashfield.
Oh, wonderful. So look, yes, who knows when I get to Botswana, but when I go down to South Africa, I'll have to do that.
Yeah, I've got a runaway train with Sandy. She's like, I mean, she's just unstoppable.
Yeah, you never know who'll blow up your business. Just takes one, and it doesn't have to be in your first line as either. But if you have one person on each leg who's like myself or like Chris or like some of the other people we know, your life completely changes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's such a gift. And the power of this healing is just next level. And for me, I think it's more than just about the healing. The frequency seems to kind of raise us into a higher consciousness. I find now when I think of something, the answer almost comes straight away. It's kind of weird. And, when you want an answer, and it definitely brings you into a much stronger sort of state of faith, for want of a better sort of description.
100%. Are you going to the event in Johannesburg on Saturday?
I would love to go. I'm sending a couple of people there, but the return airfare is over 10,000 Rand, believe it or not. It's less than 2-hour flight, but our SA Airlink are absolutely milk this route.
So what you were saying is something that I touch on. Chris asked me to do a little video for the event. So it's something that when you're in a room of a few hundred people who are all patched, it's definitely a higher energy. It's definitely a higher frequency. It's Ariella.
I think he's doing something to us that we're not even sure what it's happening, but it's definitely doing something to a higher consciousness.
So Ariella, open your microphone, because she was nodding. She was at the event here in Mallorca the other day, and then I'll add. Let me hit again unmute. Let me find you. Okay, where are you? Why can't I find you? Okay, there you go. So let me hit this. Ask to unmute.
So now I can speak. Yeah, I'm a person struggling very much to get to manager. I have no idea why, because talking about the patches to a lot of people, and I love them, and I also think it's a very spiritual thing for me, at least. I mean, George knows me, and he sees changes in me, and I myself feel that there's an energy change, even though I got ill at the moment and can't speak a lot. But yes, I was at the event, and it was interesting. I would have done it differently, of course, but the second part was very nice, and the second part was more informative for the people who are already business members or brand partners.
You do need to remember, this is a corporate event. This isn't a network event. It's LifeWave Europe corporate. So they have one, from their point of view, it's one thing. From our point of view as network builders, it's another thing. So
it's very funny what I'm going to say now. I had people sitting next to me, and they were new, they were not end partners, and they said they would have loved to get more information about patches. And I thought so, that there should be an introduction first in one of those events, and then.
No, but again, I'm going to say the same thing. It was a corporate event, not a brand partners event. But let's do some brand partner events here when you're ready.
Yes, I would love to.
Okay.
And also, they were very German.
Yeah, there were a lot of German
but they were too much German for me.
Yeah, and even though Ariel is German, yeah.
German, but they were very German, and it's a different kind of present things.
Yeah, it's true. But anyway, look.
It was very inspiring what Alexandra said today, because, as you know, I'm still struggling a bit. I don't know why, but I'm still consistent. And I loved what she said. You have to believe in it. And I do believe in it, because I believe in the technology and in the patches and what happened. When I talk to you all, I'm so like, yes, it's part of a family all over the world. I mean, Robin, I would love to visit you one day in Botswana, or to see other people all over the world. Or you come to Mallorca. This is a real great connection we are creating here.
That's true.
It is fantastic. It's really fantastic. And I hope we continue. And I hope one day I'm going to make my steps up. I'm positive anyway.
You will, without doubt. It's a question of head to heart and consistency.
Just visualize it. Visualize it. Go to bed tonight and ask for it and say thank you in advance. Thank you very much for making me manager soon.
Yeah, I do. I am in it. Maybe I have to make a family constellation first to break all these barriers, but I'm on my way.
You will be.
So I think there's something here which is not obvious at the beginning, and it's almost like David's got a little twinkle in his eye and a twinkle in what he's doing, because the patches physically they do incredible things, but I feel they're doing something much deeper and much bigger
spiritually.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't tell the whole world that. Yeah, they're like.
I think he's protecting us and preparing us.
Yeah.
I mean, David said some things in some of his interviews, and I think this is very interesting. He said he felt like he was guided, and he found things in the Bible and the codes of connections and the codes he's putting into his studies and whatever. And I think it's really, there is connection. Everything is like a big red being connected. And this is what we feel from the universe. Yeah. And let's call it God, or however you want to call it, God, universe, power, whatever. And this is reflecting in his work, and this is what we feel.
Yep, definitely. Absolutely. And, you know, I mean, I can attest, I was expelled from a convent at a young age and rebelled.
That's probably a good thing to have happened to you. I wasn't in a convent, but they did the same thing.
But, you know, it's a really interesting thing. It's almost like you are being pushed into a kind of a lane of belief, or where it suddenly becomes very clear. You know, things were always a bit sort of sketchy and maybe a little bit muddled, but there's this incredible, it's almost like an urgency to get back to your faith, whatever it is, with that, and it's almost like you're out of control with it. It's you're just being pushed and shoved, and every time you know, if I wake up in the morning and I think, like everybody else, I'm sure here, life wave, you know, start thinking, what am I going to do today? But there's also this element of faith coming in, and I found that fascinating about David Schmidt, was that whole Bible math, because we're in such an age of transition with this, you know, AI, transhumanism, this terrifying stuff going on. And it's almost like he has, we're a collection of people that are coming together through a higher consciousness. And today I woke up and my first question in my head was, we've got to get a distribution center in Botswana. And immediately this person came into my mind. And I thought, I'm sure he signed up incorrectly. He signed up with somebody as retailing, and he should have been a brand partner. So I called him and I said, are you in your office? He said, yeah. And I said, I need to come and sort out your mistake you made. I went round there, and it became very apparent to me that he is in the perfect place to be the distribution center for the whole of Botswana. So it was a really exciting day for me to think, wow, I think, and I was straight on a voice message to Chris. I know you're busy. I know you've got a convention, but I got to share this with you because I think I found a solution for us in Namibia.
Yeah.
So anyway, it'll be a conversation, George, I'm sure Chris will want to have with you at some stage.
Of course. Look forward. Look forward.
Yeah.
So when are you going back to UK, Robin?
Well, I live in Botswana, but I've got family in the UK, so sort of go backwards and forwards. But yeah, Botswana's home. We've got 50
No, but
horses.
okay, but I think the first time we texted, you were in the UK, and do you know when you'll be in the UK again?
Probably in January when our safari season is not so busy.
Okay, so if it happens that I'm in the UK and you're in the UK, let's see if we can connect. Let me know if you're going to the UK. It's not that I go every month, but I do go from time to time.
That'd be great. Yeah, it'd be lovely to meet you in person.
Super. So listen, guys, somebody else wants to say something, or are we gonna go?
We leave it for now, and I wish you all a good night, or I don't know, the time changes. I hope to see you soon, very, very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's amazing how you can feel the energy even through the Zoom. I mean, it'd be amazing when we do all get together.
Yeah, I hope you meet again, because we are not always in the same meetings. It would be lovely if we could meet again, because then it's like a more closed family, let's say.
Well, keep an eye on these Thursday calls with Chris. I want to do a call, something like perspectives on the patches from some of the people who've been in the doctors group and who've been sending me messages, which I think it could be an interesting call. And then one or two other people.
We can participate on these calls from the doctors.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, I will do it on this particular link at this particular time with Chris when he's up for it.
Yeah, right. So thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye, Charles.
Bye.
I tell your story often, Charles.
Fantastic.
I love it.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you. Adios. Let me find the right button to press.